What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Nothing But Skills, and today I'm bringing you guys a new build. This is my LMG build I've been working on. You guys don't understand. Division 2 drops are crazy. The RNG has not been on my side. I've been trying to get to a higher level before I started investing in these builds, right? Because if I'm going to invest in the builds, I kind of want to keep them for a little bit. But I haven't had any luck, and as you guys see, I've been trying, but I finally got this build together. It's been a build that I've been trying to work with because I know when I release my AR build, a lot of people like using the LMGs, and LMGs are really fun. And as you guys have seen in this video, they can put out a lot of damage and they can keep up with a lot of the top builds in the game. They shred through armor, and the damage to targets out of cover, it's what really makes this build very popular, right? Like, because of the extra damage you get. Because when you first look at the damage in normalized stats or in non-normalized stats, you're like, oh, the damage is okay, right? But it's that extra 15% damage to targets out of cover that you get on all those players. So let's get into the builds in just a second. Before I do, I just want to say thank you guys again for all the support, for always supporting this channel. Make sure you smash the thumbs up if you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys are new to my channel, first time watching one of my build videos, hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be releasing a lot more, and that way when I release a video, you guys get notified. Let's get into this build, guys. So the first thing we're going to notice is I am running not your traditional M60, I'm running the M249. Now, the good thing about this gun is it has a little bit faster RPM. Now, my black market M60 hits a lot harder. So if I put this one on, I'm at 33K. If I'm running this one, I'm at 24K. But the big thing, you guys, I just want to show you guys is when we look at the normalized stats. So we're going to take a look at the normalized stats. This gun drops down to 10.4K, right? The M249. Black market M60 drops to 11.7K. That's only about 1.3K difference, right? But when they're not normalized, check this out. The M60 is at 33K. And then look, check this out. It's at 24K. That's 9K difference when it's not normalized. So in the occupied zone, of course, running the M60 is going to be better if I can get some kind of rate of fire on there. In regular PvP, the difference is 1K. Where you're really getting that damage is once you get to damage to targets out of cover, that 15% damage to targets out of cover. So I personally, for conflict and non-normalized DZs, I run tactical M249. And then when I'm doing PvE and I'm in the occupied zone, I'll put on the black market, and I'm still looking for one that has Allegro so I can get that 10% extra damage and get rid of this 20% magazine capacity. The way I have my build set up is I have 7 offensive, 9 defensive, and 3 skill. So the first thing we're going to get into is the weapon. Let's get into the tactical M249. Now it has 24.1K base damage. Remember, it gets that 15% damage to targets out of cover. So when it is normalized, I'm still getting that 15% damage to targets out of cover in normalized PvP. We have unhinged, receive 25% damage at the cost of negative 35% weapon handling. And then on my gear set and all my mods, I put some weapon handling on there to kind of counteract that because it can get a little tough trying to control these LMGs. Now, I recommend having Allegro because rate of fire, in my opinion, is the meta for PvP right now. Yes, you do have a couple of those one-shot builds, but once you're in normalized, there's not really a one-shot build. And I feel that the more shots you can get on target, the better you're going to be, and the more kills you can get and the more damage you can put out. I think with this build, I put out almost 4.5 million damage, and that's a lot of damage to do in conflict. And then also for the bottom talent, I'm running while equipped, in cover, all skill damage, and healing is increased by 25% for 10 seconds. And then buff is lost when exiting cover, can occur once per 25 seconds. Now the way I have this modded is I'm running stability, stability, stability. So a pro red dot sight with 5% stability, a compensator with 10% stability, an angle grip with 10% stability, and then I'm running 20% reload speed on my tactical small pouch, and this helps out with running the chatterbox. Now the only reason I'm running the chatterbox, guys, is because of the bottom talent, and even though the reload speed isn't as fast, it still works out pretty good and you can still pull it off. While holster, reloading your weapon within 5 seconds after kill grants 20% rate of fire for 10 seconds. So once you reload, you'll get 20% rate of fire on this gun that hits really hard, and you'll see players start to drop instantly once you pull it off. Now the reload speed is a little slow. As you can see, my reload time on this is 4.6 seconds, so I have to reload, and then as soon as I reload, I have to get right into battle. So let's get into the gear. Let's get into how I have this gear set up. You can see my armor is 197,000, my health is 59,000, and my skill power is 440. So for the mask, I have the 10% weapon handling, and this is going to help offset a little bit of the weapon handling I lose on my LMG. Now the attributes I'm running are cooldown and health. I also have self-adjusting 20% armor regeneration, and this helps with getting that armor back quick once you get out of combat. Now for the chest piece, I'm running the LMG 10% damage chest piece. This has attributes of skill power, weapon damage, bonus armor, and critical hit chance. The talents that make this chest piece I really like is Unbreakable. 25% of max armor is repaired when your armor is depleted. So if somebody shreds through your armor, you get 25% of that max armor back. And then armor kits used within the next 5 seconds are not consumed. That's a great talent for survivability. So if you want something with a little bit more damage, you can go with something like Unstoppable Force. Killing an enemy grants 2% weapon damage for every 10,000 armor. I just feel that having Unbreakable sometimes can be the difference between someone shredding through you getting that 25% max armor back, and then you shredding them. So I'm still playing between the two, seeing which ones I like more. If I want to go a little bit more glass cannon, I'll put Unstoppable Force on. If I want to have a little bit more survivability, I do like running Unbreakable. I feel like it runs really good with the LMG class. Now for the knee pads, I'm running the Gila Guard. This is going to give me the 5% total armor. That's why my armor is a little bit higher. I have health on here, health on kill. Now, I wouldn't mind rolling off that health on kill for armor to give me a little bit more armor, because you really don't need that health on kill. I just feel that's a wasted roll, right? So for the mods, I'm running an offensive protocol mod. This is going to give me 2.5% weapon damage. It's going to give me 0.5% pistol critical hit damage. Also, I'm running another offensive mod that's giving me 1% weapon damage, 3% optimal range, 4.5% weapon handling. So you see, I'm starting to offset that weapon handling that I got from the weapon talent. Now for the backpack, I'm running a True Patriot. I'm running 2 pieces of this so that I get that 10% damage to armor. This is why you can shred through those shield builds, and you can shred through players' enemy. The extra 10% is really good. And then also I have weapon damage on here. I have bonus armor and then critical chance. I think that weapon damage is probably one of the top roles you should start doing in this meta, especially since they nerfed a lot of things. I think that weapon damage works really good with a lot of builds where you can't stack a lot of crit chance. Just having weapon damage, you're able to keep up with those builds that have high crit chance, high crit damage. For the mods on this, I'm running a defensive mod. This is going to give me bonus armor, critical chance resistance, and then shock resistance. Now for the gloves, we have the second piece that's giving me that 10% damage to armor. And then of course on your gloves, you want to try to get LMG damage. And then you have health. So I would always recommend rolling the type of weapon you plan on using, which is LMG for me, on this build. And then I have health. I could remove this health and put armor instead, but you see I already modified the LMG, so these aren't the perfect roll. That's the one thing about Division 2 is trying to get those min-max rolls now is really tough because you have to roll only one item. Now, if they gave you the option to roll 2 items, it would be a little bit better, right? But since we can only roll 1 item, I was only able to roll the LMG, and I'm stuck with the health, which isn't too bad. I feel that having some type of armor and having a health balance helps out a little bit. Some people rather just roll all armor, 250,000 armor, and have no health. I feel that having some armor and some health actually makes a difference. And on a build like LMGs, because when you do lose that armor, it gives you a chance to kind of get away, heal up, and that happens a lot to me because I do have 60,000 health. It helps out even in conflict. And then for the knee pads, I'm rolling health on here. This is why I'm at 59,000 health, almost 60,000. It gives me 8% health. And then I have health on this roll. Another one that you could roll armor instead. And then on the knee pads, what I really like is patience. After being in cover for 3 seconds, your armor repairs for 5% every 1 second. Now that's a really good one, especially if you get a couple kills and you get into cover and there's nobody coming near you and someone's gonna start pushing you. You can stay in cover a little bit, start getting that armor to repair a little bit faster, and it kind of all works together. Now for the mods, I'm running a defense protocol mod. This is gonna give me 766 health, 736 armor regeneration, and then every time I get a kill, I'm gonna get armor on kill. That's 2,600, which isn't a lot, but that can make a difference, right? So if I get a couple kills, my armor starts to regenerate a little bit faster. And for the skills, I always run the same 2 skills. Most of the time when I'm in PvP, I run the chem launcher. This is great for when you're in cover, you drop the heal. If you get around the corner, you can drop it if you don't want to use a armor plate. And then of course I like running the drone, the fixer drone, because it's gonna repair your armor as you're moving. Even though people could shoot it, most people don't even attack it. It does consistently heal you, and if you're running away, you'll notice it starts to heal you too. So like after you get into combat, it can heal you a lot faster. So usually I go with the drone, and I go with the Chem Launcher. 2 heals. We're going to check out the stats real quick, and you're going to see that my stats are pretty nice. My weapon damage is 24,000 on here. Remember, if I put my M60, it'll be at 33,000. But once we're normalized, it goes down. Crit hit chance is 16%. Critical hit damage is 25%. You don't really have to worry about crit chance, crit damage. What we're going for with this build is weapon damage, LMG damage, and then you can see I have 65% headshot damage. So if I do get those headshots with this, I start hitting a little bit harder. I have 39% all weapon damage bonus. I have 29% LMG damage bonus. I have that 15% SMG damage bonus, but that's because I am running Demolitionist. But what you're really going for is that all weapon damage of 39%, the LMG damage of 29%, and then you can see I have that armor damage of 10% down there, and that's going to help eat through players' armor because, you know, we're all stacked with armor. This is the only gear set, if you run 2 pieces, that give you any type of armor damage. So make sure if you guys are going to run an LMG build, you head over here, right here, to the specializations. You click on it, you go to Demolitionist, and you have this selected onslaught. You want that 15% increased light machine gun damage, enables Demolitionists to lay down heavy amounts of fire. If you're going to play any kind of PvP, especially conflict, you want to have vital protection. That's going to give you that 20% reduced chance of getting critically hit. So that means all those SMG builds that are maxed at 60%, they already lose 20% right there, right? Crisis response is really great. You should have this unlocked if you're going to run this build. When armor is reduced to 0, it can refill all main weapon ammo. So just make sure you guys take the time to kind of unlock some of this demolition tree. Now, I just want to say thank you guys again for all the support. Remember, if you guys have any questions on this build, use the comment section down below. Smash a thumbs up if you found this video useful and you plan on using this build. And as always, if you want to see any of my builds, any of my tips and tricks, hit that subscribe button, turn notification bell, so when I release a video, you guys get notified. As always, if you don't see me in conflict, if you don't see me in the dark zone, it's only a matter of time. Nothing but skills out.